Today is March 13th, 2024. My name's Melissa Ackerman, and I will be interviewing Dorothy Jane Kassanoff. How are you today, Dorothy Jane?
Fine, thank you, Melissa.
Tell me about your family, your parents, and if you know something about them, your grandparents, where and when were you born, and how. Let's start with that.
All right, let's start with that. I was born, I was born, unfortunately for me, being a southern girl from southern parents, I was born in New York. But I didn't tell anybody that because I lived here and I just definitely wanted to be part of the Texas group, always from Texas. But my mother graduated from the University of Texas, and she met my father, who had graduated from the University of Arkansas, and they both went to New York differently. My mother had Daddy's number to call because her sorority sister, my Aunt Molly, had married my father's sister, Uncle Henry. And so she said, when you get to New York, you've got to call my brother-in-law, Tony Spitzberg. He's adorable. So the three roommates who went up to New York to work took turns every night calling Tony Spitzberg. He was never at home, but when he did answer the phone, it was Mother's turn to call. And Mother was so flabbergasted she didn't know what to say. But soon he became friends with the three roommates, and he asked my mother to marry him, and that's my beginning. I was born, they stayed in New York because Daddy worked for the New York Telephone Company. And so I was born in 1938. And my brother was born 3 years later. And then we spent half of every year in Tyler, Texas.
Who was from Tyler?
So I was from Tyler. Daddy moved to Tyler and Mother in 1946. But most of the time that we were in New York, as I say, 6 months in New York and 6 months in Tyler.
Did your mother grow up in Tyler?
Yes.
And where were her parents from originally?
Her parents were from Elgin, Texas, which is a small town outside of Austin. And they moved to Elgin, my goodness, just after the Civil War. So they were in Elgin a really long time.
Okay, and where was your father's family from?
Well, you know that, Melissa. My father's family was from Little Rock, Arkansas. Before that, I think it was New York. I think they came over and settled in New York and moved to Arkansas.
Where did they come over from? Do you know?
Yes, they came over from Poland, from, help me, the big city, Krakow.
Mm-hmm.
And the others, my mother's parents, grandparents, came from, on my grandmother's side, came from Germany, a little town called Thorn, Germany, and my grandfather came from Luxembourg.
Okay. Okay, so they moved to Tyler, and what did your parents do?
All right, they moved to Tyler because my granddaddy was had a store, Myron Schmidt, and so they moved there to be with my grandparents, and my aunt and uncle were there. And my father did many things. He was an electrical engineer, and there was no need for electrical engineers, so he ended up in the insurance business, which he didn't love, but he learned to love it. And I always think he made a profession out of something that people thought was just a salesman.
Mm-hmm. And where did you live as a child? You lived in Tyler. You grew up, except for the 3 years when you were in New York?
Yes, I grew up in Tyler. We moved, as I said, in 1946. And I went to public schools, and I don't know that there were any private schools except the Catholic school. I started out in elementary school. I was absolutely not a jock, and I was in a good crowd of girls, and we remained friends. We're still friends, those who are still alive today.
Mm-hmm. And so, did you go to college?
Yeah, I graduated from Tyler High, and it was a large school, and I got chosen many things in high school, and so I felt pretty secure when I went off to Newcomb, which is now Tulane, Newcomb College. My mother had gone there, and my grandmother had wanted to go there, but she had to go to Mrs. Somebody's School for Girls in Austin. I know the name of it. Yeah, so I didn't have much choice. I was going to go to Newcomb, and then I transferred to Texas after 2.5 years.
Okay. What'd you major in college?
Majored in English, minored. I minored in French because I couldn't pass the reading knowledge test that you have to take each year, and so I had more courses in French than I did in anything else.
So what were some of the friends in the neighborhood like? What did you like to do as a child?
Oh, well, my goodness. We loved to give plays for our parents, our friends in the neighborhood. We always walked 2 or 3 blocks to each other's houses. And we were very interested in making up plays for every holiday that our parents had to sit through. We had crepe paper costumes, and my aunt and uncle had a big house with a little water that passed through it, not a lake, but just
A little brook or something?
Brook, and we would plan our plays around the brook. And much as we did when I was young, we always went to Little Rock to see my daddy's family, and we did the same thing. We put on, the cousins always put on plays, and so that was fun.
Were you involved in any drama clubs or anything in school?
No.
Just your own self-produced plays?
No, I really wasn't. But we were all sure that we were most theatrical. All of my family is very theatrical, and we love to sing, and we know all the words to all the old songs. So yeah, we had a good time.
Did a lot of your friends stay in Tyler, or did they leave Tyler once they grew up?
Most of them left. Most of them came to Dallas, as a matter of fact, just as I did. I had 2 sets of friends. I had my Jewish friends that went to Sunday school with me. Oh, and I taught Sunday school after I was confirmed. Very active in that.
I was going to ask you about your Jewish
my
community.
Gentile friends.
Okay.
They all moved away, to Oklahoma, to Houston, to Dallas.
But you kept in touch with them, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Jewish community in Tyler.
Well,
what was it like? How many families?
Well, I don't know how many families. I just know that we were such a small town, and we had a synagogue, and we had a temple and a synagogue. Well, we call them Orthodox, but they are now just conservative.
Are they still around? Okay.
Both sets. As a matter of fact, our family, my family and my cousin's family, just gave a room to the Temple Bethel in Tyler. We were always real active in the temple.
Your parents were active?
My parents were extremely active. I mean, they were the president of this and the president of that. And the year that I was, and we went to temple every Friday night. Year I was cheerleader, which was a big deal to me. Our football games were on Friday nights. So I had to go to the football games, but one football game came on Yom Kippur. So I just wore my big mums that people gave me to temple. Cried a little, but yeah, no. This was our main social life, was
Around the temple.
centered around the temple.
Were there Jewish organizations in Tyler?
My father was president of AJC, American Jewish Committee, and mother, well, the sisterhood. There was Hadassah, but I think she just paid dues to that. I don't think she was active in it. There was this, as I say, the sisterhood. She was very active in that. She was the president often. I can't remember the men's club that Daddy was in, and Granddaddy. I mean, we were just a very Jewish family, and proud.
Did you experience any anti-Semitism growing up, being from a small town?
Well, yes, but I did, yes and no. Yes, in that when I was in the 3rd grade, one of my new friends, I'd just come, asked me why the Jews killed Jesus, which I thought might be anti-Semitic, but I said I didn't know that there were only heathens and Jews in those days, so it must have been her family as well as mine. That was that. And then when I got to high school, there was no overt anti-Semitism. There was just, I went to church with my friends, and they always wanted me to come down to the front and accept Jesus. I wouldn't call that anti-Semitism, but it was uncomfortable.
Yeah. Was there BBYO or any kind of Young Judea or any other kind of affiliated teenage?
When I was a junior in high school. Some people came from Dallas and started a BBYO group there. Let's see, there would have been 6 of us in the BBYO chapter. There was the beginnings of Temple Teens, and we were the first group to be in that. And we went to TIFTY, it was called. TIFTY, it was Tyler, whatever. And we went to camp. We went to camp with other Jewish kids. It was really exciting because my life was with my friends. I had 2 good friends who were Jewish and the rest were Christian.
So how and when did you come to Dallas?
When I graduated from Texas, I graduated as an English teacher, and I came to Dallas to teach school. And that was in 1960, 61. The first thing I did was I went back to SMU, and I took some of the courses to refresh myself on things I knew I would be teaching, like his American literature and some specific things. Then in midterm, I started teaching.
Did you live in an apartment when you came up here?
Yes, lived in an apartment. Let's see. Well, when I came up here, I was scared to drive down Central Expressway. It was one of these streets with a limit on how little you could drive, as well, how slowly you could drive, as well as how fast. And yes, we lived, there were 4 of us, and we lived in apartments near on Alcott, which is near Gaston, and that area. And I mean, when I started teaching at Thomas Jefferson High School on Walnut Hill, it was almost in the country. It was, you couldn't go much further.
So how long did you teach at TJ?
I taught 1.5 years. The reason being that I got married and immediately, and not too immediately, well, got pregnant. And if you were pregnant, you couldn't teach school.
How did you meet your husband?
When I was at Texas, Arnold's brother was at Rice, but he dated a girl from Texas. And Arnold's brother was adorable. He was one of my favorite younger people. And he'd come in to Austin to date her, and I'd always visit with him. So when I moved to Dallas, he had told me that he had a brother who was moving to Dallas, who was going to do he had finished he was a doctor. He had finished his residency, and he was going to go into practice in Dallas. So I went out with his brother, Arnold, and that was it. After 3 months, let's see, we started dating in September, and we didn't just date each other. We dated each other for only 3 months, and then we got married.
Did you get married right away, or did you have a long engagement right away?
I don't know that I've ever gotten married if I had waited for somebody.
So how old were you at that point? You were in your early 20s, right?
Yeah, I was 23, 24.
Okay.
I was already an old maid. All of my girlfriends, 9 of them, they were all married.
Right out of high school, pretty much?
Out of college.
Right out of college.
Or in college, yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your life as a young married woman. What kind of things did you do with your time? Did you get involved in any organizations, play sports? What did you do?
I don't know what we did. Yeah, we did get involved in organizations. I got involved in mostly Jewish. When I moved to Dallas, it was kind of the beginning of meeting Jewish people, and I went to all of the things that I was invited to, the Federation things, the Temple Emmanuel. We joined Temple Emmanuel immediately. In fact, we got married by Rabbi Klein and my Rabbi Wessel at Temple Emmanuel. And I just remember it was Federation, it was Council of Jewish Women, and then not too long after that was Temple Shalom that we got really involved in.
When it was being formed?
When it was being formed, right? We were in that
Charter
initial
group, charter members.
Group, and I was married 11 months when I had my first child.
So tell me about how many children do you have?
All right, so we had 3 children in 3 years.
Okay.
And so getting real involved in a lot of stuff was, I think now, what was I doing during Martin Luther King? I was watching my children. I would have marched if I'd known there was a march. I would have done a lot of stuff, but meanwhile, we were taking care of the 3 children.
Where did you live during that period?
In Richardson.
Okay.
We lived around the corner from Melissa's mother and father, and my cousins Bob and Jean Weinfeld. We were very close, and we did lots of stuff together.
Tell me about your kids. You had 3 in 3 years. That's a lot.
That is a lot. And we lived in a little bitty house. So we moved out of there to North Dallas after the 3rd one was born. All right, we had Jenny first, and yeah, that was neat. And then we had Ben, and then we had Jim. And we did all of the stuff that we went swimming in the summer, and we
Did they go to preschool?
Yes, all right. So they went to Green Hill Preschool. And they only went there because my friends' children were going there. I didn't know anything about. And so Green Hill, we took them out after kindergarten. And I wanted my third child to have Green Hill because I thought he might need a private school. And when I took all of them out, they said we couldn't come back. And so we put Jenny in public school in Richardson. And we put Ben at Green Hill.
They let you come back?
That's right, so they would let us back in. And it ended up that Jenny went to Green Hill for junior high, whatever they call that, and Ben stayed there. And Jim went to what was called Dean Memorial, and from that small school for learning disabilities, we all started, about 6 of us started a school named after the head, the person that had encouraged us to put Jim there. Her name was June Shelton, and we all started the June Shelton School. Okay. So he went, maybe his 4th year, he went to the Shelton School she left Dean Memorial.
And started her, that's the beginning of Shelton.
It's at Shelton School, yeah.
Okay, which is huge at this point.
Right.
So tell me about your children and what are they doing now?
Oh my God. Well.
Oh, you don't have to tell them. What did they end up doing?
They ended up. Jenny went from Green Hill to Harvard, and then she went to Oxford to do her master's degree, and then she went to Princeton to get her PhD. And now she teaches English at Barnard. She's a professor, tenured, chaired professor at Barnard. Ben went to Duke, and then he graduated and went to here, Southwestern, for his internship and the residency in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania.
And what kind of doctor is he?
And he is a radiologist.
And where is he now?
He's now in Denver. Okay. Jenny's in New York. Okay. He's in Denver. Jim went to a Westminster college where, oh goodness gracious, gave the Iron Curtain speech. Churchill gave the Iron Curtain speech. And when he graduated, he went into many different schools to think of what he wanted to do. To the Culinary Institute, to, he got gemology, and then he ended up working for my son-in-law, boo, and now he is in Philadelphia and works for REI.
The sporting goods?
Yeah, and he loves it.
Great. You have grandchildren?
Yes.
You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I have, Jenny has 2 children, Molly, who is going to be a rabbi. She graduated from, oh my gosh, I'll tell you in a minute, because it's not coming.
Tufts.
Tufts. Yay! She graduated from Tufts, and now she's going to rabbinical school, not in Reform and not in Reconstructionist.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Okay.
Jake works in New York for a school. Oh, he went to, all right,
Rutgers.
Rutgers. Yay! I'm gonna let, you can cut this.
No,
No,
we'll
oh,
keep
gosh.
going. You're
All right.
fine.
He went to Rutgers and now he works in New York for a school book, something. And then the two middle children are from Ben and Sharon. Sharon is my daughter-in-law. Her folks live here. Anyway, Jordan graduated from Colorado, University of Colorado, and he is up in Rochester, New York, doing scientific projects. He's very into not studying, but doing experiments, and Rochester has a school that, or they hired him, whatever, and he's very good at what he does. Marla, my granddaughter, is graduating this year from Colorado, and she is electrical engineer, not electrical, she's a whatever engineer, and I wish she could have known my father. I just wish. But anyway, he'd be so proud of all of them. And then the next two children are Jim's children, and the older one just started at Columbia, at the university, at New York University, NYU. So he is second half of his freshman year, and the youngest one is a junior in high school.
Okay. All right, that's terrific. So each has two. Each of your children has two.
Right.
Okay. Back to Dallas. How has Dallas changed since you moved here many years ago?
It changed and is changing.
And in the Jewish community and the secular community.
Absolutely. There was only one Reformed congregation when we moved here. And I mean, I think there was one conservative and one Orthodox, right? And I can't even name the congregations that are around today. There are many, many. When I came here, for example, my good friend Joanne, who moved here, and she's Methodist, she would ask me things like, Dorothy Jane, I just met a girl named Goldberg. Do you know her? I mean, that's how small Dallas was, and how Joanne thought all the Jews knew each other. And I had to tell her, it wasn't like Tyler. But yeah, it is, I can't even tell you how much it's grown. It has, and the streets, we lived furthest out as you could get, which is Beltline. We built the first house on the block called Midcrest, and there was no further.
It stopped at Beltline?
You stopped at Beltline.
And did you raise your family there? Are you still living there?
No. Yes, we raised our family there. No, we're not still living there. We moved to Midcrest when Jim was born because our home was only a 2-bedroom home in Richardson. And then when the kids were off at college, my husband Arnold decided we needed to move. And I was teaching at SMU at the time, and he was at Presbyterian Hospital, so we had to move to South Dallas.
Okay.
We always said.
Okay. Do you enjoy that?
Oh, I love it. We're in Greenway Park, and yeah, it's my world has gone from Gentile to Jewish to mixed now. And I think it's because of where we live.
Okay. Do you have any role models?
Well, yeah, the first one that comes to mind is my English teacher in high school, Miss Marsh, who never married. And she was so good in English, and she was so prim, and she liked my writing, and she liked me, and she really made me feel really confident in my ability. Of course, my mother and my father, I mean, I can hardly talk today without bringing up Mother and Daddy, and my grandmother, and my darling little grandfather, who was 5'3". I think of role models outside of these. I can't even, no, these were my role models.
Okay. What are some of the things in your life that have made you most proud?
Well, of course, my kids. I'm sure everybody says that. Well, there are little things that I've done that make me, if we're going to talk about my pride over my achievements, yeah.
Talk about whatever you want.
Well, when I became cheerleader, that was a big deal because the school voted on it. Mm-hmm. And I was a Jewish kid. Mm-hmm. No matter what you say, I was still the Jewish kid. Mm-hmm. And that was a big deal. So I was very proud to do that. And most of the things that I have done, I've been proud because I'm the Jewish kid. It's amazing. When I start thinking about it, I'm proud of being the first Jewish girl to be asked to be in the Rose Festival. This is all social stuff. This isn't.
But it was important to you.
It was. It was important to my parents, mm-hmm. And it was important to the Jewish community.
Absolutely.
We were all kind of excited about that, and then in college, then I was asked to be in the Rose Festival in Tyler, which was also first Jewish person, means Jewish parents who were very active in the community, not just at Temple, mm-hmm. but in the community. And so that was a good deal. When I got to Dallas, I was proud to be asked to be in a group of women who went around to schools and talked about their childhood and their religion, and it was called the Panel of American Women. And I did a lot in that group when I was young. And then I was asked to be in the Women's Club here in Dallas, which has maybe 6 Jewish people in it. Mm-hmm. And I was proud to do that. I was proud to be in this Jewish community at Temple. I was proud to be a Sunday school teacher. When I went off to college, I became a Sunday school teacher in New Orleans for the Temple in New Orleans. When I transferred to Austin, I did the same thing. I was very pleased to be part of a group of Jewish men and women that really were totally accepting, that you never felt like the other. And my children, I think, have the same kind of thing. Ben and Sharon live in a mostly Jewish community area in Denver. So I don't know how many Christian friends they have. But the other two have them and feel equally comfortable in both groups. I'm really proud of my family. That goes for my interviewer and for everybody. That is about I'll wear that with great pride.
I can tell. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about that we haven't covered?
Well, no, I think I managed to get it all in, except for the people in Elgin that I know about my the great grandparents. My great grandmother is buried in Austin. So the fact that we were here so long, and I have so many stories about them, that's for another day.
Oh, we can always do an
We
addendum.
can do it again, but yeah, that's fun too.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for visiting with me. I've really enjoyed it.
I did too.